Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out the lighting in this room. I think there's just too much light coming through the giant windows there. And this may surprise you, but I am not a videographer or a photographer, and I have so many lights on me, and I still look so dark, and I don't understand why. But again, just like last week, I think the main point of these videos is to get people answers to their employment law questions, and seeing me doesn't really matter for that. So away we go. Here is the question we're answering today. It is a publicly posted question from avo.com from Oxford, Missouri, and it was posted on January 20th of 2022. And the question is, can an employer lie on a position statement? And I'll explain what a position statement is. So when you file with a state or federal agency, you're going to file what's often called a charge of discrimination or a complaint of discrimination. Now, the EEOC and many state agencies will then afford the employer an opportunity to respond. That response is generally going to be called the position statement, right? And it's supposed to lay out the employer's position, hence the name, on what you're accusing them of. Now, those position statements are often sworn documents, meaning that they are often testimony. They're viewed to have almost like the veracity of something said under oath, right? And so now that we have that covered, let's go on to the body of the question. I was terminated days after I reported a coworker for sexual harassment. I have filed a suit against my old job. On the position statement, they said I quit, but I was terminated via text message by the GM, so the general manager. Okay, so allowed is a funny word, right? If their position statement was a sworn statement and they lied, that is potentially perjury, right? Now, clearly you can prove, because you have the text message, that you were terminated. You did not resign as they're claiming. That's really key. Is anything going to come of that? Probably not, in like the bigger sense of like nobody's going to jail for putting that lie in the position statement. However, and this is huge for your case, when they lie in the position statement, that's a huge opportunity for you because it blows their credibility out of the water, makes the federal and state agency personnel look at them and be like, okay, so you're a giant liar, and here's the proof you're a giant liar. And now this person who's got what I presume is a retaliation lawsuit against them, it sounds like you opposed sexual harassment in the workplace, and I applaud you for that, and they retaliated against you for doing so, and now you have a retaliation claim, and it sounds like a very good one. And you know, it's getting better by the day because they lied in the position statement, and you can easily prove that in your rebuttal papers. And most of these agencies, especially the EEOC, you're going to have the opportunity to do a rebuttal. Now, for you, you know, I don't know what's going on. Sounds like I hope you're represented. I hope you have counsel. The question becomes, if your case is pending in the EEOC, do you do the rebuttal and kind of blow them out of the water in the rebuttal and try to get a settlement? Or do you pull the case, get your right to sue letter, and go on to federal court? Because now you know you can demonstrate that your ex-employer is, you know, liar, liar, pants on fire. And that's going to be really, really useful with a jury. These are kind of tactical, strategic concerns that your attorney should be discussing with you at this point. The hows and the whys and the kind of the path forward, so to speak. And if you're not having that conversation yet, I would initiate it, right? I mean, sometimes attorneys get busy. It's no excuse. But they should be having those conversations with you. And if they aren't, I think you should probably say to your attorney, hey, what are our options? Why are we on this course? And actually hear them out, right? Don't just go in there and be like, this is how it's going to be. Well, because, you know, you presumably you've only done this once in your life. This is your first time, hopefully. If you've had to do it multiple times, I'm sorry. But usually it's your first time, and so I'm not saying go in there and say, hey, some jerk attorney on the internet says you're slacking. Not what I'm saying. Not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is prompt the conversation and be like, hey, seems like we have a real opportunity here. We've got some advantage over the employer here because they blew their own credibility out of the water. They have a self-inflicted wound, and how are we going to capitalize on that? Let's have a discussion, right? And only if your employer's like, nah, we're not going to talk about that. At that point, would I say, ooh, maybe we should talk about who works for who here, and maybe it's time to talk about if you need a new attorney, because that is not a legitimate response, right? The response to you saying, hey, let's have a conversation about how we capitalize on this is got to be, yeah, that's an important conversation. Let's have it. You want to have it tomorrow? Let's schedule it for the afternoon. You know what I mean? Like, this is important. This is your life. This case could have very real value. It sounds like a great case, and you need to make sure that the employment attorney you hired is on top of that, really on top of that, and reducing risk and adding value, right? So I hope this is helpful. The short answer is no, they're not allowed to lie. The real answer is they're going to lie routinely, and it's probably a good thing for you in the scheme of things. So I hope this is helpful. And I hope you get paid. I hope you get paid the big bucks here. If this was helpful, like and subscribe. If you have follow-up questions, I will check the comments down below. And yeah, again, way to push back, way to stand up against sexual harassment in the workplace. And it's even kind of more impressive that you did it when it doesn't even sound like you were the target of the sexual harassment, right? It's not like you were getting targeted. You just saw something wrong happening and you said, nope, not on my watch. And that is incredible. So thank you for being you.